Hey everybody, Ricky Bobby. Happy Palm Sunday, even though it's not a Palm Sunday today. And I've had an overwhelming amount of views and comments on me crashing my reef tank last week with no pox from Red Sea. And there's been non-stop comments and asking questions and advice being given on YouTube. So I just wanted to do a quick video and answer the questions that you guys have been asking because it's been pretty crazy. It's like a miniature viral reef tank video that this thing had. So just to end off with Bubbles, my yellow tang, did die a day later. So the one thing people are talking about, starvation or lack of oxygen. The pH went down to 7.1 from 8.1. So when it did get the bacterial bloom in the tank, it drew a lot of oxygen and brought the pH down a lot. So we know that. Salinity was still 1.026. Temperature was the same, 78 degrees. But the excess carbon, alcohol, the NOPOX in the tank, was causing just a lot of problems past its regular dosed numbers, and it created slime everywhere. So what it was doing was it was causing the filter floss and the filter cups, to clog up in like 10 minutes. So that was a rush to keep them clean. So I did a big water change. As much water that I had available that I could make was a 50% water change. It was pretty much 50% if you factor in all the rocks and the gravel and all that. So volume-wise, that's what it was. So try to get as much of the NOPOX out of the water that I could. The other thing I did was I bought a brand new UV bulb for my UV sterilizer and ran it for 24 hours to get the cloudiness gone. And what you did, the next day I woke up, the tank looked beautiful. So what I did that night, the day after that, was just to make sure I turned off the UV sterilizer and I dosed a helping of this. This is what we get in Canada, Fritzyme 9. This is our live bacteria we have here. So just in case something with the cycle screwed up, and because the NOPOX potentially, feeds bacteria, I just wanted to make sure that we had some nitrifying bacteria back in the tank. People asked me about ammonia. They kept saying I didn't have ammonia. I never did check, but I dosed prime. So when you dose prime, I've been told that you will get false ammonia readings in your test kits. You guys can actually answer that question. I didn't bother doing it. All I knew was I had to get the tank clean. So that's what's going on. So I ended up getting a quarantined, one of the last flame angels around in Ontario from Candy Corals. They go through copper at their store. And I ended up getting a last minute flame angel. So I also dosed copepods again, 2 different kinds of copepods, because what I found was when all that stuff happened, the inverts were going crazy. And I saw my mandarin actually swimming around, looking on the rocks, but not finding much to eat. And I said, uh-oh, maybe some copepods died during the spike. So I redosed copepods this week as well. And Hank, my mandarin, seems to be doing well, and he's still nice and fat. So that's good. So anyway, to long story short, that big water change did a lot, and the tank is crystal clear. The UV is doing a great job. Fresh ChemiPure Elite in each chamber. Both chambers have ChemiPure Elite. And some other people mentioned, hey, turn your skimmer on. Well, guys, the skimmer was on and is on. I had just cleaned it spotless before the video because I was doing a bunch of maintenance to the tank. So be careful when you're being judgmental of people because you don't know the whole story. So as you can see now, the skimmer is skimming very well. So the NOPOX is still off. I'm gonna wait a week. I'm heavily feeding the fish until I get the nitrates and the phosphates back up to like a regular healthy level for the corals and for them. and then I will turn the no-pox on. So a lot of people said, are you still going to dose no-pox? And I said, yes, because it wasn't no-pox's fault, it was my fault. I took what was left in the bottle, I dumped it in the tank, and that's what caused the spike. So my doser is very trustworthy. I trust it. It puts in roughly 5 to 6 milliliters a day once the nutrients are going, rocking and rolling, and I trust it. I have been dosing carbon for over a year, and it wasn't until I dumped it in manually without knowing how much I put in that I had an issue. So as you can tell by looking at the fish, wrasses are good. There's my row of Grandma Goldilicious. There's the Flame Angel there, Princess Poppy, the Chromis, the Clownfish, and the my sand sifting goby, Isabella. They're all doing great. So for some reason, the yellow tang and the Flame Angel passed away. And everybody else is perfectly fine and eating like champions. So I guess they're not very strong fish, but strong on my wallet. That yellow tang was one of the last shipments from Hawaii at the time, 2.5 years ago, for $250. And the replacement Flame Angel, as you see on the screen, was $150 Canadian. So I'll do a video. We're going to do another fish to replace the yellow tang. We're going to quarantine it depending on what the situation of that fish is. And we're going to do something different this time. Yellow tangs are so expensive right now. And well, I got some other things in mind. Anyway, guys, I hope this answers some of your questions, because I am getting non-stop question after advice given. And as you can tell, if you've watched my channel for the last 4 years, I've only had this reef tank for 2 years. If you watched this reef tank channel for 2 years, I've never had one bacteria bloom, I've never had one issue, I've never had one fish die. This was purely just my stupidity that caused this. I know what I'm doing. I'm an expert reefer. I have no problems keeping the reef tank. I just did something stupid, not thinking correctly, and I really appreciate everybody for watching. And please like and subscribe, because I got lots of reefing goodness and palm tree videos coming your way. See you later.